public's health, safety, or welfare, and for a continuous period.
Yeah.
So I think the safety element is in there
I got you.
as part of it. It's not just
But you can't board
unkept,
it
it's
up,
not
but
just.
if you board it up for the, keep people out, that puts you right back in there. I mean, I totally disagree with this, and I think we're trying to punish property owners. It looks like we don't agree with people's right to own property. Just my say.
All right. Does anybody else have comments or questions?
I'm speaking briefly. So this change came from a recent General Assembly legislation that passed last year. And it used to apply only to cities, and then it got expanded through legislation to Pulaski, Clifton Forge, and Timberville, and then last year it applies to any locality. We had, I think it was a few months ago, we provided a list of locality, of buildings that would be defined as derelict. There were only like a dozen.
It's less than a dozen.
Less than a dozen, it was maximum about a dozen though. There weren't many. And the definition of derelict building is pretty strict in the Code of Virginia. Now, I have it here though. For purposes of section, derelict building shall mean a residential or non-residential building or structure, whether or not construction has been completed that might endanger the public health, safety, or welfare for a continuous period in excess of 6 months. It has been 1 vacant, 2 boarded up in accordance with the building code, and 3, not lawfully connected to electricity service from a utility service provider, or not lawfully connected to any required water service or from a utility service provider. Has to do all that in order to be called a derelict building.
Has to be all
All of them.
all parts.
All of them.
Okay,
All.
so if all those things are in place, then it's a derelict.
It'd be considered derelict.
Okay, well, maybe I misread it. It looks like it could be any of those things. And it said residential, non-residential. That's every building,
They say, yeah,
every building.
it could be any building, but it has to have all that play out.
Well, what do you do with the money?
I'll be talking about council right now. I can't say right now what to do right now though.
Who enforces this?
Town
Really?
would, I'd say.
No.
The town would, I mean, because the town would put this forward though. I don't know if the county has done this or not.
I don't think it.
I don't think the county has either. I can't say for certain about that.
You can go out to the edges of Chatham and tell it's not doing that.
True.
So, the derelict buildings, by definition, have been, the state has identified these buildings? Did you say it was like 8 of them?
The town had,
The town
the
has.
town had no more than a dozen. I remember we were given a handout though, and I know it exists. I've seen it somewhere in my storage, somewhere in my files. I know it exists though, and I think, if the town staff can get a copy of that too though, I mean, that's public knowledge too, so. And in addition to that though, I mean, I've heard so many people in town, I know Ms. Bishop heard too though, people complain about these rundown buildings though, and they demand solutions though. This is not an easy solution to fix though, because it's costly to dismantle. The last one we dismantled was just on the northern edge of the town though, and that took a long time. It's expensive to get that done too. So, this is not
I
going
agree
to.
with you, I agree with you, there are buildings that something needs to be
Something to be
done.
done. This is not gonna solve the problem entirely, but I think this is a first step of many that.
How would a person that has a derelict structure, if they're not sitting in here tonight, how will they know about this?
The town's supposed to, I believe, those.
We'll send them a notice.
The notice.
If this is adopted, we'll send them a notice, a certified letter,
Yes, sir.
okay? Just like we do for their mowing their property or keeping the bushes up.
Because like somebody, that didn't know this was going on and of course didn't come in, and then they get a fine on top of,
Well, it says
what
that
they
they'll
already
be
had.
identified within a certain amount of months. If they haven't paid, then they'll get a notice saying you need to do this before they're slapped with the fine. It says that in here.
Yeah, okay.
This language, I mean, that's in the town though, came pretty much verbatim from the code.
Why if you want to register a building, why do you have to keep registering it and pay it? If you're really just trying to, identify a building, seems like if you fill out a form, you paid your fee, then that should
Well,
be the
maybe
end
it
of
would
it.
incentivize someone to fix their dwelling.
Maybe.
Or
That's
take
a
action or
hazard.
sell it or.
Yeah.
take some kind of action with it.
Even a convicted person doesn't have to pay a fine every year. I don't understand why. You fine them, and that's it, and then the rest is on them to fix it.
But what's their incentive?
I don't care what their incentive is, they know what the town needs and has to do.
Well, I don't see what
That's
town's gonna do
fair.
with the money. I don't know why we have to keep collecting money from the people.
Well, maybe we could put it in the fund to tear it down.
Possibly, I mean, that's one idea though, but that's something the council will decide
Right.
in the upcoming fiscal year.
All right, any further discussion? All right, Madam Clerk, will you call the roll?
Before the vote is called, if I may, so, under the Virginia Conflict of Interest Acts, I'm just gonna say this for Councilman Thompson, and it's his decision. Councilman, don't hear me wrong on this, I don't have a strong opinion one way or the other, but if you believe that, voting on this would be in conflict with your personal interests, then you might consider recusing yourself from the vote. I don't have a real strong opinion either
I
way
understand.
as council, I'm just
I understand.
suggesting that that's an option.
I understand.
So,
English.
You go ahead, call roll.
Uh-huh.
Bishop,
Yes.
Black,
Yes.
Beasley,
Yes.
Pace,
Yes.
Riddle,
Yes.
Thompson,
Abstain.
All right.
okay?
All right, the next one is the motion to approve zoning ordinance section 7B, B1, business district uses, also from ordinance and charter committee.
Just lost my place.
See,
Page number 5.
I know, I'm on.
Okay.
Well, this one also comes from, the committee, and so, presented to you. The attempt is to, define the ability to have an apartment, over top of a business. And so, that was added to the current, ordinance for downtown.
And so that's the part that's in red on page
That's the part-
93.
That's page 93, that's correct. And it says that the living quarters can be, shall be permitted when constructed above ground and basement floors. And it says that no living and or sleeping quarters shall be permitted in any attached accessory building or structure. We don't have accessory buildings or structures downtown, but, there has been a movement to put apartments in over top of, businesses downtown. Some of them very successful. The attempt here is to say that you are allowed to have it, number one, and then number two, it says that it has to be in compliance with the applicable laws. So anything that goes in over top of the building, over top of the business, would have to meet the codes. That's all.
I'm here again. Did you read the last sentence